get the, you could say the, well, the, pretty much, I would say Zombie Prime, or, you know, that episode. What's up, everyone? It's Mr. Stan coming back at you, and I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, where are those toy reviews? Well, guys, I've been working on this for a while. It's been off and on project, but it's sure enough, I finally got it done. And so far, you know what we're going to be seeing right now? Obviously, you can know from the title. Today, we're going to be definitely taking a look at the 2.0 or the version 2.0 of the MP44 KO Optimus Prime right over here, guys. Let's go straight into it. Here we go. So when you do get your MP44 KO version, or you could say the second batch, it's going to pretty much come in, you could say, this brown box. Now, I've already actually opened it up a bit to check out, to make sure during the previous shopping video, not previous, but shopping video for a while, to check out to see what it was like inside, just in case I needed to do an exchange right then and there at the shop. But it turned out to be okay. So as you know, you're going to get a brown box, and there you have it. There he is, Optimus Prime, in his nice 3.0 or KO44, you could say, whatever. He's got his backpack right there. He's got his heat axe. Then you've got his blaster, a couple of other parts, and then of course you're also going to be packaged with the Starscream and the damaged Optimus Prime head. And I believe, there we go, we've got the alternate version of Optimus on his head right there as well. So there you have it. This is pretty much it. A standard box, nothing too spectacular. Virtually the same thing which was with the original first version of the KO44. Okay, guys, there he is, fresh out of the box. That is the second version of the MP44 KO Optimus Prime. Looking nice and spiffy, very much out of the factory right then and there. And as the video has been shown in the title, this is actually going to be a comparison between the first version, right over here to the right, and the second version. Now, one of the noticeable differences you're going to see. Now, this one here, I borrowed from a good friend out here. His name's Aaron. Thank you, Aaron. Big shout out to you. And one of the noticeable differences you're going to see immediately when you get your second version, if you did, or if you have both, whatever, is that the eyes, okay, of the MP44 are actually painted in a nice, you could say, light blue color, which is, you know, it's very accurate to the Generation 1 cartoon. Now, this right here, of course, you can see also blue color, but originally they were not. They were a lot darker, and so it wasn't this color in the beginning. Aaron had actually painted his eyes because he wanted to get that nice Generation 1 accuracy. So keep in mind, that was one of the first changes. One of the next changes was looking at the forearms. You can see the distinction between the yellow marker arrow and the, you could say, the rectangular sides. Here on the first version, they are just like a dark red. As far as other noticeable differences would be probably the head. The head part was the antenna. If you notice, the antenna on the new version is a lot more sharper. It's actually not even bent. It's actually even looking like it's a little bit taller than the first. And here, actually, like you can see, it's still kind of bent. As much as they tried to repair by bending it back, they're just not, it's just not as crisp, not as nice as the newer version, okay? And I think the ultimate, or you could say the most pesky part of the MP44 was the part about the knees, how it was so easy to basically break, and that has actually been fixed and corrected. The reason why is because there is actually a certain part in the back, and let's see if we can show you. There has been a certain part in the back, which is right here. If you notice right here, this part of the plastic remains on the first version, and this is what limited its mobility, especially when you're going to bend him down to pose or whatnot. So what they've done is, if you can see, on the back, on the knee area in the back, they've actually cut this off in order to increase the mobility and to try to stop that problem with the problem of the knees shaking, and of course sometimes even worse, breaking off. So this is, you could say, really it is a better version revised. Honestly, the thing is, if you do have the first version, I think some people have tried to cut this off themselves. However, that is very dangerous because it is a solid piece of plastic, and you could end up just taking more than you wanted to and breaking the whole thing entirely, which is totally not cool. Other than that, okay, there are some other kind of differences, and it's very minor, but I think the big one was definitely the knees, and I think also the molding, or you could say the joints, because through transformation, as you can see over here, some side panels don't exactly, they don't actually, you know, stick in very well. Whereas over here, it's a little bit better. Not completely, but just a little bit better. As far as that goes, okay, he's pretty much, again, it's pretty much, you could say, an all-around improvement from the very first version. As far as the other looks go, it's virtually pretty much the same because it is the same exact model. They just did some minor details and changes. I would definitely say that if you did have the first one, you could just, you know, get by with it, but I would recommend trying to pick up the second one just because of the knee situation would be so much better, especially if you're going to do posing and transformation. Also, one more point is the Insignia. Here you can see this is the Insignia that you would get if you were to get the first version, if you all did, which you probably already have. But if you're going to get the new revised KO, your Insignia, of course it's not blank, you actually have to include it yourself for copyright purposes. They'll probably ship it with it, or you can buy it separately. And if you look at the Insignia, let's see if I can focus. Let's see if we can focus. All right, focused a bit. There we go. If you look at the Insignia right here in my hand, it is quite different from the first version Insignia, where you have this big white, Autobot Insignia, and right here, this is a bit more, you could say, Generation 1 feel or MP feel. Let me see if I can go back to the focus. Okay, there we go. See, if you take a look, there it is with the red, with the white outlining. This one is just basically, you can say, a whole white background with that with the red cutout formation. Now, one other difference I just need to mention really quickly about these two is that here, with the new revised version, or you could say the second version of the KO, the hands actually are a bit more, you could say, not loose, but they are pretty much not as tight as the first version. The first version, you really, from what I understood, you really needed to be very careful because they were just pretty much, they were pinned in, or they were just super, super tight and squeaky. You would pretty much need to basically give it like a lot of like, you'd have to flex it a lot or open and clasp after some time, and the problem with that is if you did too much, it would become super loose. With the current hands that are on the next the current version, the second version, I'll say again, of the KO, okay, it's a lot easier. You can see already I can actually pull them out and it's not a problem. I believe that's actually on the first version there that I had borrowed from my good friend Aaron. He's already made the adjustment, but then it's actually a lot more looser from what I felt because he's done it so much. And another thing is the guns, the actual Optimus Prime blaster. Now, this is right here, the version for the new second version of the KO. And as you can look, the hand peg right there is actually a lot thinner. So it's actually easier to pick inside. This version, if you take a look, it's actually got a curvature. So if you looked at the two, they've actually made it, you could pretty much more mainstream, so it's actually more of a rectangular shape. This one that is on the bottom that I'm holding up now, it's actually curved, as you can see. So it wasn't actually holding into the hand as well. With that curve, it almost makes it seem like it's going to pop back out. This one right there, you just got a solid, pretty much a solid rectangular shape. Let me see if we get back into focus. And there it is right there. So again, even the gun has some adjustments. Even his original blaster, you've got some adjustments on it, which is also very good. Some people say that it doesn't peg in as well. I'll just go ahead and do that real quick. So if you want to take a look, again, this actually goes into the, the palm slot right there. And I'll just go ahead and peg it in for him and then clasp. And that's pretty much it. It doesn't actually, it's okay. I mean, it doesn't seem to be, it's really loose. I mean, you can peg it in, it's fine. But then, of course, with the other one, okay, for the first version, I'll go ahead and peg that in real quick. And let's take a look. Does it actually make that big of a difference? It may or may not. I'll just do it real quick just to show the comparison. And actually, yeah, I can feel it already. It's actually hanging a bit looser than with the, there's a little bit more loose. It's a little bit more loose, you could say, per se, when he has this pegged in, simply because of that curvature on that peg. Okay, now here they are both transformed, and as you can see, pretty much I skipped the whole transformation process because, this has already been out for a while, especially the first version, so I figured there's no need to go ahead and show a transformation simply because it is actually kind of difficult to, it's kind of difficult to get these transformed either way, whether it's the first one or the second one, the newer one, which I have over here. So this is, of course, this right here is the second version, okay, that's been modified and has, again, fixed up all the things because you can see the insignias are completely different. This was the first issue, and this is the second one right here. Virtually, again, identical, not much different from there. I mean, other than the fact that they're both actually quite difficult to transform, I would say that there's not much difference as far as the aesthetic aesthetic look goes if you're wanting to see it, because the only aesthetic look would have to be when he's actually transformed into his bot form. You can see the windows and the lights in the front, everything pretty much the same. And look at the back. Yeah, pretty much identical there. And then of course you got both weapons that slide nicely in the back that are folded, and pretty much it. Now guys, another gimmick that actually transitions over from the MP Series 44 to the KO 44 obviously is the whole voice box. Now in the back, as you know, there is a compartment where you can put 3 LR44 batteries, and I'll show you real quick. For those of you who actually don't have either model, you just basically unscrew, and there are 3 batteries that go right here, LR44 watch battery size. Then you go ahead and plug it back in, and let's go ahead and clamp it down, and whoops! There you heard it. Basically, you're going to have a flip switch over here that pushes up to be on. Pushing the button over here basically activates the sound. Now, there are 2 types of voices, actually. There is the Chinese version, which is quite interesting, actually. And there's actually Peter Cullen's voice as well. As far as I know the MP44 actually uses the Japanese version voice, and it doesn't actually include the Peter Cullen version. So it's actually nice that you're actually getting a bit of a perk when you're actually using the KO 44s, because you're actually going to have Peter Cullen's voice. Let's go ahead and switch it over by holding the button down, and you need to hear that transformer sound to turn. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. And now we hit it again. And there's Peter Cullen's voice, pre-recorded. Of course, there's probably a copyright on there, but you know, hey. And there you go with Mandarin again, same thing. Now, this, of course, is the first version that we had earlier, and this is the updated version 2.0 of the MP44. Now, let's go ahead and swap the voices over again, see if we have any differentiation. So, if anything, nothing changed. Standard now with the MP44 KOs, they have a bunch of accessories. You do actually get the, you could say the, pretty much, I would say, Zombie Prime, or, you know, that episode where pretty much Optimus Prime came back from the dead. He was kind of manipulated by those humans and all that, whatnot. And there's just basically damaged form right there, damaged form face. Then you have this one here, okay, with some more slick, cleaner form of Prime's face. You could say a more smooth visor in the front, right? However, if you look at the next, maybe it could be just because of my particular model, you might want to do some sanding on the side of the antenna, because there are a couple of, you could say, plastic sprue pieces that didn't come out. And there, of course, there is Starscream. Starscream right there, his head.
I guess that makes me the new leader!
Smiling right there with his nice red metallic eyes. And you also get, of course, the backpack. All right, here's the backpack. And of course, with the backpack, you're going to go ahead and add in the blast effect parts, where they can show that, you know, actually this can work 2 ways. One, it's got the thruster boost, okay, adding that in. And then the other part, you can attach it to his blaster, and it can be just, again, another blast effect part for Prime. It also has the, you could say, this is the neck piece for Starscream if you're going to convert him to Starscream. And one final piece is he does come with the Energon Axe. This is still a kind of like a tight fit, though, if you do try to change it out using his hand. What do we have here? We have a very defenseless little baby Autobot girl with a blaster and a little baby blade, and she's being protected by her well-endowed mother. But that's just not it. There's 2 giant combiner thugs right behind them, and you can see they're over there right on top of them, and they mean business. Can anyone come and help these 2 defenseless little couples here? Who's gonna come and help protect them too? Oh gosh! Alright guys, here comes Team Prime. It's the Team Prime KO 44 brothers. Here we got version 2.0 with his blaster, his Energon Axe, and his rocket jet booster in the back with his lightning effect. And that's because we have version 0.0 with his blaster, and we don't have any other accessories because we left him behind. Let's go ahead and see what they do. Oh, it looks like it's version 1.0 of the KO 44 brothers going up against Bruticus. Who's gonna win this battle? Wow, it looks like, boom! Wait, here comes version 2.0 with his fancy jetpack and his awesome LEDs that make up the rocket thrusters. Let's go and turn them on, and there he goes! Boom! And he takes his axe and wha-pow! Oh, there goes Bruticus down! And that is right, that's all that's left in standing in their way is the mighty, mighty Devastator! Check Devastator out! But wait a second, something's missing! Where's Devastator's gun? Uh-oh, wait! There it is! Oh no! Optimus is holding his gun, he's a brawl too! That's right, he's gonna go boom! Oh! That goes to show that you got yourself the version 2.0 is not just in better in one way, it's in better all ways. Long hard battle, finally, the little Autobot girl and her mother are fine, nice, and safe. Everything's all safe, right? Safe. But there you go with the version 2.0 Optimus Prime KO. You know what they say. It's who has the bigger gun has the power. KO. Hey everyone, thanks for watching the review. I hope you all like it, and pretty much in my opinion overall, I do think the version 2.0 of the KO44 Prime is a good improvement over the first batch. Definitely they did listen out to everyone's complaints and they noticed the engineering flaws, so they did exactly what everyone was hoping for. Not 100% perfect, but at least I think the biggest issue was definitely the knee joints for transformation, okay, that were very hard and very easy to break off. Also with the actual Optimus Prime, his ion blaster, basically they shaved off make it a bit better to be pegged. Actually, I find there's not too much of a difference, even though that the peg panel is a bit more suited for its hand. And in any case, I would say that overall, if you all already have the first version of the KO44, you're not going to, I mean, if you want to go ahead and upgrade it and just sell off your old one and get the new one, it's still okay. If you don't want to, also fine. I mean, it's not a necessary buy to take this. I just think that for me, okay, if you want a better quality Prime, yeah, go for it. If you're just okay with your version 1.0 with a couple of, it's not even noticeable flaws, to be honest. If you're gonna leave it on your shelf, I wouldn't actually go ahead and go for the upgrade. Guys, so in any case, again, guys, I gotta apologize. This is like, wow, it's been like a heck of a long time since I've done actually any video reviews. I am so backlogged. I mean, in fact, this video I finally finished just a couple days ago, and it actually was started back in November. And ever since, again, like I said, now that, you know, kind of like my whole business and everything's being shifted, or now I'm, you know, the owner, okay, a lot of things are actually taking up more of my time. And so I'm hoping in the future I can get more back on track with the YouTube channel. And in any case, but I do want to say a big thank you for those of you guys who stay and support the channel. And you know, your comments mean a lot to me. I know I haven't replied back as soon as I'd like to, but you know, again, I will hopefully get everything transitioned and into a better format so that you guys can see all this stuff happening over here in Hong Kong, especially with toys, a lot earlier, like you should, guys, right? Okay guys, so in any case, guys, thanks again for watching. Those of you who are new to the channel, you know what to do. You can hit that like button and subscribe, or if you don't want a like button, it's okay. Subscribe is still okay, right? All right guys, I'm Mr. Stan, and I'll see you guys on the next video.